Have you ever wondered what can happen in 20 years' time?
In 20 years, there would be more turmoil or maybe a war, given all that's happening around us.
We would probably have invented so much that we would sit back and wonder just how we managed without it.
I will be older, much older.
With the uncertainty of the economy, we might just find ourselves in poverty.
Or we might have earthquakes and hurricanes and acid rain or we'd probably just die.
It's hopeless. Nothing ever happens.
There is always hope. Hope for a better future. With faith, love, and commitment, every dream is possible. Once a week, my granny will take me to a 5:30 prayer meeting, and she will pray for everyone in the family. And I must just say, that was literally my first encounter with the Pentecostals or the Charismatics from my grandmom's side. And that is exactly where we started off, and that's where my influence started. And I think that's where I started growing closer towards God and my love for God.
My father was in ministry since I know myself. He was a great influence in my life. My mother played a role in the sense where she was very strict. She instilled a lot of values in me that I really truly appreciate today. Being raised in a family like that, that is how I grew up. I know nothing else but the gospel.
The Lord sent me to the right woman, of course. By the age of 16, somebody whom I really loved and treasured deep in my heart was a person by the name of Dr. Daniel Bantam. He wrote me a wonderful letter, a letter of encouragement. And whenever I'm discouraged, or whenever I'm in pain, or whenever things doesn't work out in ministry, I will go take that letter out. We started the ministry with 8 people, and Regan Leo is still with the ministry. He started off playing.
I loved my hands.
I loved my hands.
Yeah.
I love my jing to the coming jing. And sometimes when the chord is a little bit wrong, I go to the jing, jing, jing. Great I am. So it was that type of thing.
We moved from the stoop to a classroom.
What I liked about the church then and what I still experience today is the warmth of the people.
I actually joined Crystal when Rep was already at the classroom. I couldn't wait to get to church. I was already part of like we called it, the worship team then. I didn't know what Rep was doing then. We had to stand in front, even though we didn't have mics. Only Pastor Lester had a red mic. And you couldn't actually hear yourself singing, but it was actually a preparation for where we are today.
When we moved to the classroom, I remember driving with him past the place where the tent was pitched in Extension 9. And he'd say like, you see there? There's the church. Can you see there's a church standing there? A person think, hey, but what's going on here now? You know, is this for real? We're gonna go there? Because all I see is that's like a bush in Extension 9.
But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt. Because he who doubt is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. The man should not think that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man and unstable in all these ways.
We were expectant, moving from the house and then into the classroom, and then from the classroom to the tent.
God granted us great grace through a wonderful, wonderful person, Pastor Percy Huckle.
Yeah.
And Pastor Percy Huckle helped me to raise the necessary funds to obtain a piece of land, 3,000 square meter land in El Dorado Park, exactly Extension 9. And we pitched a tent.
I think the journey was so exciting because I I don't think I ever thought back of, but I come from a church building and now I'm coming to a tent. It was never ever on our minds that we coming into a tent.
He treated the tent as if he was in a multi-million rand building, treated it with that type of excellence. His sound and the carpets and the flowers and the curtains, everything just had to be spot on, right from outside, and I thank God that to me was very, very inspiring.
The one thing that we knew is that we are getting better. We knew that we are getting there, and we knew that even the tent experience was a temporary experience.
There's constant progression. There was always something that you could see, something that was tangible, something that was in your face.
What was amazing to me, whenever we pass a steel structure, my husband would stand still, stop the car, and look at the steel structure and say, yeah, I think ours is going to be like this, that, and the other. And when we pass Eldorado Park's Extension 9, the ground, and he says, yeah, the windows are going to be this side, and this is how it's going to be, And to me, it was, wow, you're really living in a world of your own. You know what I'm saying? But I knew, because of the type of person he is, I knew that, hey, I mustn't just take it for granted, because this is gonna happen.
There were times when my dad would wake me up on a Saturday morning to make Reverend Carl a cup of coffee, because they started building there, the steel structure there, and they started building, and at 6 a.m. he would wake me up actually just to make a cup of coffee for Reverend Carl. So that's the things that started happening in our household, because my dad started to understand the lifestyle at Crystal and the reason why I am there.
In many respects, you were ahead of your time. But yes, indeed, you've always responded and being relevant to the needs of the broader community, both at a personal, community level.
And Red actually prepared us years before we recorded to say that you guys should write your own songs.
I got myself recording, leading worship, things that I never knew I would be able to master. And in '98 we recorded our first album. It was like a wow moment in my life. The first time that I was exposed to live recordings.
And in preparation of our first CD, it was hard work, but it was like a dream come true, and putting together the voices and how the musicians put together the music was really amazing to me, and how every song differed. And it was like, wow, this is real, and it was part of my dream, I must say.
And up until now, we've recorded 8 live CDs. We've got a few DVDs as well. And God has really helped us and really propelled me into my destiny because of one word, I believe, and that's loyalty.
I was invited to Crystal when it was graduation night. And when I walked into Crystal at that specific time, and I just thought, wow, this was absolutely divinely ordered by God, and hence I'm living out my ministry. I love teaching. It's what God has gifted me with, and Crystal is the place where God has chosen to use me.
Reverend Carl was a key player also in that, where he'd always chat and sit down and talk with regards to encouraging us to know the young people, to know what makes them tick all the time, to stay one step ahead, to put your ear to the ground and hear what the heartbeat is of the youngsters.
It was the Destiny launch. I spoke publicly for the first time. It was very nerve-wracking, but it was an experience that I can't forget. So yeah, that was one of the...
But how old were you? I can't remember.
I was about 4 or 5. Yeah.
Of all the things I admire about them is their spirit of leadership, how they have led the church. Because some of us know the journey of the church. I do remember when you were at Eldos, And to see how the ministry has been led through different phases and stages, and the challenges that you've gone through, and how the leadership that you have, your pastors have held on and have stayed focused.
Crystal Ministries is a growing church. It's a changing church. Nothing stays monotonous or the same all the time.
We believe that we will have the necessary acres of land on which we will build a church for the south with beautiful yet simple facilities, including a worship center seating thousands, a counseling and prayer center, Bible training facilities. All of this will be designed to the ministry to the total person, to serve the people spiritually, emotionally, physically and socially. Here is the proof. It goes for this vision to train and equip believers constantly. One-on-one evangelism through cells, mass evangelism, 10 crusades and strong follow-up to work the works of Him who sent us. The mission statement: bring people in the building, build people up, serve people and send them out.
We moved over into this building. It was a glorious day, that day when we moved over here. The Lord really blessed us. We moved from 4 services to 1 service. This building can easily seat 4,000 people.
So cloths had to be draped from the ceiling. Cloths had to be used as kind of walls around the building. And everything just had to be done with cloths. I can remember yellow cloths, red cloths, different colored cloths.
The whole move from the community church to the city church, and obviously there was a huge mindset because with change it's not easy.
To train and equip believers constantly.
I always did well in school and wanted to continue at tertiary. I was not too sure because I didn't have finances, being raised by a single parent. I was introduced to Crystal Ministry and Reverend Carl and his preaching. The preaching of the word made me realize that I can do anything through Christ who strengthened me. I completed my BSc and today I've also obtained a master's. I'm currently registered for an MBA, and all of this wouldn't have happened if I didn't join Crystal. Joining Crystal Ministry really changed my life for the good.
I think one of the key cornerstones of our vision, which is Destiny, is dream big. So it was always my big dream to become an executive of a corporate organization, but also of a multinational organization. And for the past year that I've been involved with Crystal, I would always document that as my big dream. The spiritual foundations that's been laid at Crystal has really been my platform to success.
Crystal Ministries had quite a few workshops and conferences on leadership. And I found the church to be very relevant in terms of the teachings, especially via Reverend Carl. It was during this time that I actually managed to get my faith level up and to leave formal employment and to actually venture out on my own.
Everyone in this place, you have the potential to make it in life. To serve the people spiritually.
When I arrived at Crystal, there was a sense of quality, and also people took worship very seriously, and a sense of excellence. The fact that the worship was done in such excellent manner attracted me here, and that is something that just stood with me all the time. And worship became something else. It wasn't just worship anymore, but it was an experience with God and living out my life just on another level. And to see how Crystal has come through in music, the powerful choir you have, this can only be because God's Spirit rests among you and God is with you.
And you're going to make it. And everyone in this room will make it. To work the works of Him who sent us.
Don't forget, I went to this one event called Battle Cry, and I saw 17,000 young people worshiping God. It was so amazing. And that's exactly when God spoke to me and said, if you avail your life to me, I'll use you. I just lifted up my hands and I said, God, here I am, do what you need to do with me. Guide me, show me what it is that you need to do. And I just thought, we need to make this happen. We need to make this happen. We took over the youth group and it just phenomenally grew. 100 people, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, and it just grew phenomenally. And that's how the factory came about, and up till today, you know, the ministry touches so many young lives, so many young people that wanted to commit suicide, so many young people who wanted to give up on life, so many young people who wanted to throw in the towel and say, bro, I got nothing to live for. I come from a single home background, you know, my parents are fighting at home. I don't know what to do. I can't face this anymore. When they get to the factory, they'll send me messages on email, on Facebook or wherever, and they'll say, man, you know what, after tonight, I have a different outlook on life. After tonight, I got some hope. I feel like I got a second chance in life. And this is how God has allowed me and use the ministry to touch lives and to touch the hearts of young people, so they don't just give up on life and they actually, you know, get some hope.
May God more than ever lift people that's in this church out of the ashes.
When I went through my very tragic divorce, as well as the losing my brother and my sister-in-law, and as well as my mother, and I must admit, from the word go, the Crystal family was there. You know, from the minute I got the news that I'd lost a family member, there was somebody there that was from the church to find out if there's anything I need. They were there to pray with me, comfort me during my divorce. I had people praying for me that didn't even know knew about me, and I'd received notes, I'd received email messages, I'd received SMSs from individuals just telling me to hang in there, that God truly will lift me up, and that's exactly what God has done.
Becoming a born-again Christian at Crystal Ministries, I must say it was really a life-changing experience for me. As much as it was a life-changing experience to lose a spouse, I certainly wouldn't be where I am today. And I might have been dead.
Impossible. Really? Impossible?
It's not always easy for everyone to believe in your vision or your dreams because it looks so impossible. But yet, in the midst of that, God granted me a measure of faith to believe that everything will work out for the good, and it did. All the major banks in South Africa, they didn't want to give us a loan. As a matter of fact, they declined all of that, and we didn't know what to do. I said to the Lord, show me something, because I've got nothing to hang on. Right through the Bible, there's illustrations, specifically in the Old Testament, where those men of God will have tangible things. Like Moses will have a staff, and David will have a sling and stone. But God will use, I said, God, give me something to work with. I don't know what to work with here. But gracefully, the Lord that night showed me a bank and the color of the bank. I took the files out and all the forms and stuff, and they clearly declined it. But we phoned that morning and we spoke to somebody at the bank, and they said, well, sir, give us your reference number. I gave them the reference number, and they mentioned that, well, it's declined, but the gentleman on the other side of the line promised me just to come through and to come see me, and a wonderful thing happened. The Lord said, just do two things. One, tell him that all that you have, and the Lord said, show him your 10-year book, the 10-year coffee table anniversary book. And the second thing is take him through the building. And then the Lord gave me words after the 10th, showing him the 10th anniversary book. The Lord said, show him the book, and then after that, tell him that's all that you have, your integrity. Show him that you've built this church by the grace of God from nothing to what he sees in this book now. And if he can just take my word on that I will honor the loan. And the second thing was to take him through the auditorium. At that stage, there was no ceilings, there was no carpet. I walked him into the auditorium. He stopped somewhere in the middle of the place, and he rolled his sleeve up, and there was goosebumps on it. And he said, I feel God. That was his sentence. I feel God. I had a candle here in my office, and right from the beginning, when all the banks said no, I lit that candle. And I said, God, give me an answer before the bottom dropped. That day, God answered my prayer. He phoned me and he said, are you sitting or standing? I said, no, just give me the results. He said, well done. The bank has just approved your loan. Man, what a moment. What a hard moving moment. I walked into my office and I blew that candle out and I bowed my knees and I thanked God. And the first thing after that prayer, I phoned my wife. I said, you won't believe. You won't believe. Phew. I'm still emotional today. Man. God is a good God. And it was good days and hard days, but I don't regret, not 1 minute. Today, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. Unbelievable, from that stoop of 8 and for where we are today. It is just God. I just want to give God all the glory. I want to give God all the praise, all the adoration. It's by far worthy serving Him. And I really love and appreciate Him. Yeah, it's my story.
Yeah.
I want to say on behalf of my wife and myself, the leadership, pastors, and congregation of Grace Bible Church, well done, Hikensile. We thank God for this great achievement, and we know that what God has started in you, He will bring to completion. Well done.
Hi, my name's Edwin Foster. I'm a local Christian businessman. I wish them well on their 20th anniversary, and I look forward to their next 20 years.
Crystal Ministries International, congratulations from myself, my wife Bev, our children, our church board, leadership, and the entire Mount Carmel family. God bless you.
Hi, Pastor Carl Hendrickson, Crystal Ministries. This is my wish for a wonderful 20th year anniversary. You all deserve it and so much more. You're such a generous and a wonderful congregation, led by Pastor Joan and Pastor Carl, who are such generous and wonderful people. I just celebrate you all. And I wish you 20 more years and 20 more years after that and 20 more years after that. This is only the beginning for the ministry. Great things are now happening, and even greater things than these shall ye do. I want you to know you always got a friend in the United States. His name is Pastor Frank Thomas, Pastor Joyce Thomas. We love you all, and thanks for the years of relationship. Thanks for having us, and we look forward to seeing you all soon. God bless you, and we love you.
Grace and peace be to you from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Congratulations, Pastor Carl and Pastor Joan and the members of Crystal Ministries as you celebrate 20 years. I praise God that you are a man and a woman of integrity, and I'm grateful to God that God allowed our paths to cross. My prayer for you this day is that your latter days will be greater than your beginning, and that you will have a wonder-filled 20th year celebration. God bless you.
We here at Jesus Celebration Center would like to wish Reverend Carl and Pastor Joan Hendricks and their family and the leadership and the entire congregation at Crystal Ministries International a happy 20th anniversary. The great Martin Luther says the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. Reverend Carl and Joan Hendricks, we at Jesus Celebration Center would like to wish you and the members of Crystal International well with your 20th anniversary.
Reverend Carl, Pastor Joan, and the rest of the Crystal family, I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate you on a very important milestone in the kingdom. It was indeed 20 years of enduring, credible, wonderful, hard but life-breaking work that you've accomplished for God in the kingdom. I know that the best is yet to come for Crystal Ministries. Let's move forward and let's enjoy the next 20 years. God bless you, Reverend Carl, Pastor Joan, and the rest of the Crystal family.